Just kind of heard what they were doing, and of course you have Caitlin, who's drawn eyes from all around the world. That was like, why would I not? Why not be a part of something great? You go from Diana, and now you're...
The changes were not abrupt flickers, but a methodical transformation from the old to the new. The once familiar image of Diana's era was evolving rapidly into one defined by championship contending squad. The transition wasn't merely about replacing names on a roster, it was about redefining identity, fostering an environment where talent and tenacity merge into a singular, formidable force. As the offseason unfolded, it became abundantly clear that the Fever were not simply tinkering with their lineup. They were constructing a new blueprint for success. At the heart of this revolution was an influx of fresh talent and renewed ambition. One of the most striking elements of this transformation was the arrival of a player who wasted no time in establishing her presence. In her debut interview, a conversation that was as candid as it was electrifying, she left no doubt about her purpose. This wasn't just an introduction. It was a resounding declaration of intent.
Going to a team who is going to be a contender for a championship. And so I'm stoked about this year. I'm really excited for the players, but I'm also excited just for the community and the relationship and the culture that...
Her new jersey, which practically flew off shelves worldwide, symbolized more than commercial success. It was emblematic of an era in which every piece of merchandise, every shout from the stands, and every headline in the media served as a rallying cry for what was to come. In that first interview, the player spoke with an intensity that resonated across the league. "I think we are going to win a championship," she proclaimed with an assurance that silenced any lingering doubts. Her words were more than a personal conviction. They were a direct challenge to any critics who had dared to question the direction of the team. This wasn't mere bravado, it was a bold, unyielding commitment to excellence and a promise that the Indiana Fever were on an accelerated path toward glory. Her declaration was a turning point, a moment when all the disparate elements of the team seemed to coalesce into a unified vision. No longer was there any room for the negative narratives that had plagued the organization. Instead, every player, every coach, and every member of the Fever family began to believe in the inevitable outcome of their collective effort.
They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
This confident proclamation was not just a personal milestone, but a beacon that signaled to the entire league that Indiana was a force to be reckoned with. The season was also marked by the collapse of long-held narratives that had once cast shadows over the team's prospects. For years, some pundits had contended that the idea of playing with a superstar like Caitlin was a liability, a burden that would weigh down the team's chemistry and performance. One of the most vocal critics, known in certain circles as Sheryl Swoopes, had repeatedly questioned whether anyone would want to share the court with such a magnetic talent. Her commentary, laced with skepticism, had once served as a rallying point for those predisposed to doubt the Fever's potential. But as the new season approached, those critical voices began to fade into irrelevance. The arrival of this confident newcomer and the subsequent reorganization of the roster effectively demolished the old myths. What had once been touted as a weakness became a strength, a foundation upon which the team would build its future. The players' performance and the overwhelming support from the fan base made it abundantly clear that any notion of reluctance or incompatibility was not only outdated, but entirely unfounded. This wasn't a case of patching up a tired team. It was a calculated, strategic assembly of talent designed to compete at the highest level. Every new signing and every roster adjustment had been meticulously planned. The Fever were no longer merely collecting names, they were curating a blend of raw talent, proven experience, and relentless determination.
Opportunity came about. When I first heard about it, I was so excited. I just knew that it was my time to get outside my comfort.
Consider the defensive anchor of the team, Natasha Howard, whose prowess on the court had earned her a reputation as a true defensive beast. Her presence alone transformed any matchup into a challenging puzzle for opponents. Then came the addition of a seasoned scorer, whose ability to both light up the scoreboard and navigate the high-pressure environment of postseason play brought a dual advantage. Accompanying them was Sydney Coulson, a player whose quiet leadership and veteran savvy provided a stabilizing influence in the locker room. Together, they formed a team whose versatility was nothing short of impressive. The careful orchestration of these talents created an environment in which each player's strengths amplified those of their teammates. It wasn't just about individual brilliance. It was about a cohesive unit working in perfect harmony. Every pass, every movement, and every play was a testament to a collective vision, a vision that was now firmly focused on winning a championship.
Motion offense my whole life, outside of kind of Phoenix. You know, it was more one-on-one and let people do their thing, and if you're open, you're open. Where I like to move.
It wasn't long before the ripple effects of this transformation began to touch every corner of the Fever's community. Fans, who had long been waiting for a return to glory, found renewed hope in the vibrant energy of the new roster. The sold-out jerseys were a tangible sign of the support that was surging behind the team, a collective rallying cry that transcended mere numbers and statistics. For many, this wasn't just about basketball, it was about a deep sense of community and shared pride. The feverish enthusiasm of the fans was matched only by the passion of the players, whose every move on the court seemed to echo the heartbeat of a city that had long yearned for success. And as the season kicked off, it became clear that the Fever were not simply chasing wins. They were chasing the dream of leaving a lasting legacy. This was a story of resurgence, of a team determined to redefine itself and, in the process, inspire a generation. Digging deeper into the inner workings of the team reveals a fascinating blend of personalities and styles that, when combined, create an unstoppable force. Each member brought something unique to the table, and the synthesis of these varied talents was, in many ways, the secret to their newfound strength. Veteran leadership was complemented by youthful exuberance, while a shared commitment to a disciplined, fast-paced style of play underpinned every strategic decision.
To run, I like to dribble and kick, you know what I mean? And so when you see Caitlin, when you see Aaliyah Boston, she's a great passer. Kelsey.
There was an inherent synergy between the players that went beyond simple compatibility. It was as if every pass, every cut, and every shot was part of a well-rehearsed dance, each move calculated and executed with precision. The team's coaching staff had done an exceptional job of fostering an environment where every player felt empowered to express their individuality while contributing to a greater collective purpose. This wasn't just a team, it was a family, united by a singular vision and an unyielding drive to succeed. Central to this transformation was the unwavering belief that a championship was within reach. This wasn't a fleeting sentiment or a desperate cry for validation. It was a deeply held conviction that permeated every facet of the organization. From the veteran players who had weathered the storms of previous seasons to the bright, eager newcomers ready to carve out their own legacy, everyone was laser-focused on one ultimate goal: winning it all.
Mitchell's a great passer that if you move and you make the great cut, you're going to get the ball. And I think that just helps everybody, free up. And so I like to run. I kind of get the...
This championship mindset was not merely about ambition. It was about a daily commitment to excellence. It was evident in the rigorous training sessions, the relentless pursuit of improvement, and the unspoken bond that united the players both on and off the court. In every practice drill and every game, there was an underlying current of determination, a reminder that every minute, every second, was an opportunity to get one step closer to the ultimate prize. At the heart of this narrative was a deeply personal journey, a transformation that went beyond the physical aspects of the game. For the player who made her debut with such fervor, joining the Fever represented not just a new chapter in her career, but a complete reinvention of her identity as an athlete and as a person. Having spent previous seasons in environments that were, at times, stifling and limiting, she finally found herself in a place where her talents could truly flourish. Her arrival was marked by an unmistakable sense of liberation. For too long, she had been confined by expectations and preconceived notions about her role. But now, with the freedom to express herself on the court in ways that felt natural and exhilarating, she embraced the opportunity with open arms. "I didn't come here for the spotlight," she said, words that were as much about rejecting the old narrative as they were about declaring her commitment to a new way of doing things.
Name Forrest Gump sometimes, and I'm like, hey, if you guys want to call me, that's fine. I'll beat you down the court every time. But I really am just excited for the style of play and what I can bring to the table for this team.
In that moment, she wasn't just a player joining a team. She was a trailblazer setting the stage for a future filled with promise and potential. One of the most exciting aspects of this transition was the opportunity to reimagine the way the game was played. Gone were the days when the offense was stagnant and predictable. Now, the team's approach was characterized by constant movement, dynamic transitions, and an unyielding pace. For the player who prided herself on her ability to run the court, this was a dream come true. The new system wasn't just about individual brilliance. It was about orchestrating a symphony of movement where every player knew their role and executed it with precision. Imagine a style where every dribble, every pass, and every shot was a testament to teamwork and mutual trust. With players like Caitlin, whose innate ability to command attention on the court had captivated audiences worldwide,